Booktube, and welcome to my first video recorded in 2021. It'll be quite a short video. So I spent that period between Christmas and New Year, like many Booktubers and Booktube viewers, watching other Booktubers' best books of 2020, and very enjoyable they were too. But I was also scouting for recommendations of books that I'd never heard of that sounded interesting. So this video is about 5 books that I found through watching other people's videos, so as recommended by Booktube. So the first one is XX by Rian Hughes. This was on Eric Carl Anderson's top books of the year, and this is science fiction, but so much more. It's a lot about design, there's sort of philosophical ideas. I would say it's pretty much everything this book is about. As you can see, it's quite chunky. It's 972 pages. It is the first of my read large works for 2021, and in a way it's a good one to start with, because although it is suitably chunky, there's lots of visual stuff going on which breaks up it's not just monolithic print for 970 pages, and it's not heavy literary writing. It's more than just sort of genre, it's more than just science fiction, but I wouldn't say the language and the vocabulary are particularly literary, although it has taught me 2 words. I will go drill down into that in more detail and I'll come to review it, but this has been an excellent recommendation from Eric. I'm on page 691, something like that, so with a bit of luck I'll finish it by the weekend and get a review video out on it. So that was via Eric Carl Anderson. This next one is called Lote by Shola van Reinhold, and this was recommended by Matthew Shraya. I'm just going to read the blurb on it. Lote is a decadent celebration of portraiture, queer history and blackness, and a bitingly funny work of fiction. In this book, von Reinhold provides us with a mischievous new work of aesthetic theory, as well as a glorious and gorgeously imagined fictional world. Ingenious, irresistible, a dazzling first novel. That's from Naomi Booth, who I was a publishing label mate of in 2018. We both had novels published by Dead Ink Books. So I'm really looking forward to that. Matthew totally sold it to me. It's, I'm interested in sort of what it does about art, what it says about art. And in a vaguely similar sphere, this is a book I don't have because it's not out till February in the UK. And this is called Noopiming, The Cure for White Ladies, and it's by a First Nation Canadian author called Leanne Betasmosake Simpson. Apologies for the middle name. And again, this was recommended by... who did recommend this? Yes, I think this was Big Owl, as in Big Owl's books. It got an honourable mention because on her Best of 2020, all the actual top places into the chart were taken up by backlist books, but she did do an honourable mention about 5 or 6 contemporary books, of which this was one and sounded fantastic. And it's, again, a bit like Lote, it's offering non-white alternative ways of thinking about narrative and fiction and storytelling, in this case on a sort of First Nation tradition. So I'm really intrigued by both of these books for what they offer as alternative narrative forms to the ones we basically consume in the West. And I will say that I noticed today on Sean, the bookmaniac, he's also pre-ordered it. So yeah. So the next book is called The Subtweet by the Indian author Vivek Shraya. That was also recommended by Matthew Shraya. He said it's quite a quick read. Unfortunately, again, it's not available in the UK, or at least it's not coming to me until February. So, but when it arrives, I will fit it in, because it's a relatively quick read, as I understand. I'll fit it in around whatever mammoth I'm reading at the time. And this is, I don't have the blurb in front of me, but from what Matthew said, this is 2 musicians in India. One is sort of acting as a mentor to the other. and it all goes horribly wrong, I guess, over a subtweet. So again, it's this thing about art, but it's also sort of tied up with sort of social media and presumably fame and celebrity and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that coming in. And then finally, the fifth book. Now this wasn't strictly on a end of year sort of 2020, but it was reviewed by the Book Chemist. He and I are both big Jonathan Lethem fans. And I knew this had come out last year, but I was a bit put off by it because it seemed to be a reversion by Lethem to his genre work, which is sort of pretty much where he started. And then he moved on to much more interesting, as I saw it, sort of literary fiction. And now he seems to be swinging back towards the genre, but he hasn't completely turned his back on literary fiction. The way the Book Chemist described this is that it does sound interesting, sort of sci-fi, sort of alternative community plus, so we'll see how that pans out. So these are the 5 books I picked up through and ordered in the last week and a half from watching other booktubers. Just to go through them again. We have XX by Rian Hughes, Lote by Shola van Reinhold, The Arrest by Jonathan Lethem, The Subtweet by Vivek Shraya, and Noopiming, The Cure for White Ladies by Leanne, Betasmosake, Simpson. Okay, till next time, thanks very much.